Dude, seriously, how
Yes,
often?
guys.
I love it. Love it. I absolutely love that. I just, I'm very proud of myself.
You should be
I,
proud of yourself. That was an
Yes,
amazing job you
excellent
did.
work.
It's an amazing intro. You know what I was thinking actually that we haven't done on this live show ever that we should probably do? We should introduce ourselves.
Right? We never introduce
We
ourselves.
should
We just got our
probably introduce
logos and
ourselves.
everything. You're probably right. We probably should introduce
Yeah.
ourselves. Why don't you start?
I am Paul Caputo, host of the Baseball by Design podcast.
I'm Ed Rivera of the Dad Hat Chronicles podcast. I'm so excited. Hi, Virgil.
And I am Anna DiTomaso of the Baseball Bucket List podcast.
Wow, look at that. We're so excited. First of all, I love your hat. Paul, it's amazing.
Oh, me. Jersey Shore Blue Claws here.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir. Yes, sir.
I got this, actually bought it on the Jersey Shore boardwalk in Ocean City, New Jersey. It was on the boardwalk, and they had like a hat store there, all sorts of dad hats. And this was the one I picked up, the Jersey Shore Blue Claws.
I have. Did I show you the one I have?
No,
the one
let's
with
see
the one with the sunglasses.
Oh, yes. Well, I know the one that you're talking about, but I like it. So
hold on. Of course, now I got to pull it up.
Oh, nice. Classic.
Yeah,
I love that.
Love it.
That's
I love it. I actually love it. It's so comfortable. Now that they have that new material that New Era's bringing out with the dad hats, it's so much better. They've improved so much. It's amazing.
This is the second conversation I've had with Anna today on Zoom. So
That's true. My first call this morning, and then the last call this evening. So
oh,
it's kind of perfect.
I wonder what was that for? That's crazy.
All right, so let's see here. What's everyone's next minor league baseball game?
This weekend for me. It's gonna be in Jacksonville, Florida.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Gonna go down to the Jumbo Shrimp.
Yeah.
Oh, the Glenn's big get together.
Yeah, I'm flying in on Friday, and then we're gonna hang out in the afternoon. I was gonna drive, but I was like, 6.5 hours. My wife was like, she was supposed to go, but it was like, things happen, and so I'm gonna fly this time, and then we're gonna be over there. So
well, with gas prices being what they are anyway, I mean, what's the point even? So
it's gonna be the same amount anyway. So yeah. So comfortable. And
exactly.
then I'll be in Jacksonville enjoying some jumbo shrimp. Jim's gonna be there. Patrick is gonna be there as well.
You guys got the whole, not the whole crew.
Not the whole crew. I believe Corey's gonna be there, I think.
Oh, awesome.
Oh, cool.
Awesome.
Nice.
I think. I'm not quite sure.
We got Zachary's going to Cleburne. That's pretty sweet.
Nice.
Michael going to Buffalo on Friday. That's fun. Buffalo, Erie, and the Guardians. That's a fun trip. I like that.
Dude, you got yourself a nice trip there, bro.
Yeah. I'm seeing games in Arizona this weekend. I'm gonna see a couple of major league games.
Are they gonna be wearing their Copa/City?
If they are wearing the Serpientes uniform, I'm gonna be very happy. How'd I do, Ed? How'd I do?
That was really good. That was really good. I'm gonna give you kudos for that, man.
Paul, have you been to Chase Field before?
Yes.
Okay.
Chase Field. I'm gonna tell a funny story, and I'll try to keep it short because we have exciting stuff planned tonight. I'm very excited for tonight. But one of the very first and one of my very favorite baseball road trips that I ever took was I left a bachelor party in Atlantic City, New Jersey, at 1:00 in the morning, and I and three friends, who are still to this day part of the Baseball Palooza crew, we drove from Atlantic City to Phoenix. It was the year 2000. We drove 40 hours straight through and got there in time to basically take a shower and go to what was then the Bob. And so,
wow.
So I've been to like 3 or 4 games there in the intervening time because it's not that far. I can get there pretty easily.
Kudos to you, dude.
But that was a great road trip. And it was my very first time ever west of the Mississippi. So it was the very first time I ever set foot in Denver was on that trip. I went to the Grand Canyon. We camped in Zion National Park.
Very jealous of that.
We hiked to the bottom of the Grand Canyon and slept overnight at the bottom. And guess what we did? We all brought our gloves. And
please tell me you play catch.
I'm not going to tell you I played catch, but I will tell you that we had a catch. We had a catch.
It's play catch. Okay, cool. Got it. Anyways.
We had a catch in the Grand Canyon. How do you like that?
Let's play catch.
That's awesome. That's awesome. What a great story. I'm sorry you ruined it by using the wrong verb, but that's fine.
Hey,
Well-
Rusty, thank you.
It was a great story. I have some movie quote trivia to ask our special guest tonight.
Oh,
Here's Philip has
man.
a special
Oh,
road trip.
cross country baseball road trip starts next week. Look at that. All right now.
July 4th captain's game for Dave.
Yeah, Fort Wayne Tin Caps.
Fort Wayne Tin Caps. I'm excited for that one. I have heard such good things about that ballpark. That's going to be part of our baseball palooza adventure this year. So
That's a major I'm like super jelly of.
that is
the Baseball Palooza.
I have heard amazing things about that ballpark. So that'll be the only one of 4 that's a single A game that we're going to. The rest are AAA.
Okay. All right.
Zion
okay.
National Park is underrated. I agree with that. We hiked the Narrows, where at like some point you could like reach across on both sides and touch the actual canyon walls, and they were like super picky about when you were allowed to hike up the Narrows because they can flash flood really fast.
I actually took when me and Darla went to Vegas. It was for her job. We went to and took a helicopter, and it dropped us off at the bottom, and then we picnicked there, and then we flew right back out. So I'm with you. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So
That is very cool. You took a helicopter? That's cool. I've only been in a helicopter once.
yeah, that was my first and last time so far. But yeah, I was very cool. It's one of those times I was like, oh, should we spend this money on that? But we did it, and it was worth every penny. Absolutely. Then the next day we took some scooters, and we took a tour of the park down in Vegas. So that was awesome. That's
cool.
right. I'll scooter, guys. A 6'2" guy.
I love a good scooter. I'm all for a scooter.
It was a nice Vespa.
What's the Jack Black movie where he's making all the lists? He's like, he works in like a record store, and it's like the whole movie is like his top 10. Top 10.
Oh God.
It's not School of Rock, is
No.
it?
It's not School of Rock.
I'd recognize it when I saw it. So, anyway, Mike Sellers, I think, is Jack Black in that movie with his lists. Mike Sellers has he's got the top 5 list at the end of his podcast every time, and so he knows. I don't think it was
it's not School of Rock. It's not. It came out in the 90s.
High Fidelity.
High Fidelity. You're right. There it is.
That was it.
It was with John Cusack. He was in it.
Jack Black not in it?
He was in it. Jack Black was
good.
in it, but John Cusack was in it. John Cusack. He's the one that's always talking. He broke up with his girlfriend. They're working at the record store.
Anyway, Mike Sellers is he's the list guy.
Yeah, let's
He's the
not
numbers
forget
guy.
his 162 bucket list items too. So
Sweet
162.
Lord.
yeah,
I have
exactly.
some big personal news today as well.
Yeah.
My knock on wood here. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't say this. Actually, it has to do with a personal winning streak that I have going on that I think I'm not going to mention because I don't want to jinx it.
Okay.
Wise.
Don't mention it. By the way,
Yeah.
kudos to your podcast on having all of those guys at the same time on your episode.
That was really fun. So the Burlington Sock Puppets episode.
Anderson, good dude as always.
I reached out to Dan Simon, and I'm like, who should I talk to for the Sock Puppets episode? I was like, obviously I want to do a segment with you. And he says the Burlington Sock Puppets are the most fun I've ever had on a like creating
That's high
a logo.
praise.
It is high because he's done a lot of logos for a lot of cool
he's
teams,
done it,
right? So,
Super Bowl and everything,
Yeah.
right?
so, but he said the process of like getting together with these guys because they were like constantly bickering was just like so funny to him.
And you
So
can tell they
he-
bicker.
He really wanted to have all those guys on together. So Ryan and Anderson and
Good job. It was good.
So,
It was good.
Yeah, so it was really fun. And then like the arguing, like the arguing about the name, and then the arguing about the cool guy versus stirrup guy, and like the whole thing. They still are arguing about it, right?
Still to this day.
And then they were going to compare notes on numbers, like which logo did better sales. But then like Ryan, who ran the store,
Kind
didn't
of
stock it with
finagle.
any stirrup guy stuff. And so so that was pretty funny. So
That was awesome.
Anyway.
What are you having next week, Anna? I didn't hear you say anything about next weekend.
So Friday, I'm supposed to be in Cleburne. It's a little dicey right now. I don't know if I'm gonna actually make it down there. I'm trying my best, but we got some moving components that may put a little hiccup in it.
Hmm.
By the way, I saw Let's Get To video, and then of course, the picture of you and your wife, and I'm very jealous of your wife's hat that she has, which is the Cleburne. That one.
It's
That
my
is a
hat,
sweet
Ed.
hat.
It's actually your hat, and
Yes.
I want it.
Nicole just borrowed it.
Nicole,
Yeah,
she was like, I'm just going to use this one today.
Yeah, as often
Yeah.
happens, but yes.
I
I
lost
want it.
I lost a Brevard County manatees cap to someone I went on 3 dates with.
You should have sent it to me.
I should
should
I
have sent it
should
to
have
me.
sent it to you.
It would have been on my wall.
It didn't fit right. It wasn't quite. If it was like a regular dad hat, I never would have given it away. But it didn't fit me right. It kind of fit her right.
It would have fit me right. It would have fit me right.
Maybe it'll be out there in the world. She just messaged me the other day because things ended on good terms, right? You gotta do that.
Okay.
And
Messaged her back and said, "Can I have my hat back?"
But she messaged me. She's like, I was at the Rockies game and I saw someone wearing a Brevard County Manatees t-shirt. And I was like, hey, Manatees. And so that made me laugh.
Yeah. By the way, frozen Jack and Coke.
Yeah.
Kudos.
That's
Sounds
legit.
Yeah.
It's legit.
My next minor league game, by the way, will be throwing out, courtesy of Pat Larson, who made this happen, who just worked his Twitter magic, made
Pat
it happen.
Larson, the hype man, / bad boy of Kirkburn Media.
Unbelievable.
Yes.
He worked his Twitter magic and finagled it such that James Christopher and I will be throwing out ceremonial first pitches at the Rocky Mountain Vibes game on July 7th. So I'm
that's awesome.
super excited
Congratulations.
about that. Thank you. It'll be my second ever. As you know, you never forget your first, and the Idaho Falls Chuckers were my first, and I think they're a little jealous right now. They were mentioning it on Twitter.
They had to put that in there on the tweet, which was kind of fun. It's like, we were the first, right? Which is hilarious. I love it. There has to be video, photo, all of it. I need to see this.
You know who I'm going to be there with, right?
Oh, of course.
There's going to be video. It's going to be documented from like
high
8 different angles.
definition. So
Let's not forget the paparazzi might show up too.
Exactly.
Please do not sell it short. You know what I mean? Because it's going to be on video.
Oh yeah. No. I mean, I was so pleased to actually, not bounce it to, at the Chuckers. So, absolutely gotta, if anything, I'm going to sail it. If anything, I'm going to hit the mascot.
Okay. Bull Durham style. I love it. Hit the bull. I love it. All right. Well, should we get this started, man?
We totally should. Absolutely.
I mean, because this is going to be exciting stuff. I'm very excited about our next guest. Well, as you guys already know, he was my second episode this week. Which was a lot of fun. He had a lot of notes, and he said he could have done it for, we could have had a whole 40-minute, interview. And you're right, we did, and it was a lot of fun. So, he's also an author. Great book. I've been saying this for a while now. I listen to it as I run, and it's a lot of fun. So why don't we just bring him in?
Let's do it.
All right. What is up, sir? Look at that. Let me switch you guys up here.
We just switched at the same time.
Oh, there it is.
All right.
What's up, Ethan?
Hello from the central time zone that does exist.
I'm still not convinced.
Yeah.
There's 2 of us on Central Time now. So
yes. So even
so we got Central, we got Eastern, and then we got Mountain Time.
Yeah.
Mountain.
I've lived in the Mountain Time zone for 20 years, and I'm still not entirely convinced of that one either. So
now, whereabouts are you in Mountain Time zone?
I'm in Fort Collins, Colorado, broadcasting live from the Helmet Sunday Hall of Fame.
I was awesome. I lived in Grand Junction for a year when I was in first grade.
Oh, okay. Out there with the Grand Junction Pizza Huts.
Yes, I was 30 3/4 road. We were less than 31 miles from the Utah border.
Okay.
And we got a massive snow that year, and I remember it was like middle of my thighs, but that's more a statement of how short I was when I was in first grade than anything else.
That's funny. Well, the Grand Junction Rockies are like my number one agenda item in getting a team to change its name, because they're still owned by the Colorado Rockies, but they're not affiliated with the Colorado Rockies. And they have a logo that they tried to make look like a mesa and instead made it look like a Pizza Hut. And so,
Touche.
and
It
now
does
you'll
look
never
like
be
a
able
pizza.
to unsee that.
You cannot unsee that now.
Thanks.
So here's my name for the Grand Junction Rockies. Here's who I would like to see them be: the Grand Junction Cutthroats. if they're not going to reprise their old franchise name from Casper, the Ghosts, Grand Junction
Yes.
Ghosts, I think would be great. You know, I get it doesn't have the Casper connection, but it's got the alliteration and the awesome old logo.
And they should bring the glow in the dark Casper.
They would have the glow in the dark logo, but the cutthroats, it's a kind of trout up there that people fish for.
Oh.
And it would be a very cool logo. Have like a fish-based logo and be called the Cutthroats. That would be kind of badass, I think. So
I've
Do you
never.
think it'll
like it.
fly though?
it'll swim.
I have a great idea for an alternate identity too. If
For Grand Junction.
what about the conjunctions?
Oh, I like this.
What's your
Oh.
function?
No team has ever like put a word in between the two names of its city, right? Like it's
Yeah.
like the
Schoolhouse
Grand
Rock.
Conjunction Junctions. Like, that's awesome. See, Anna, we should just buy this team. Hey, if anyone wants to buy the Fort Collins Foxes, they're for sale out here in Fort Collins, Colorado. So
I told you I have $5. Let's go. I'm sure we can finagle it. I might be able to sell my Honda, and then you
See?
know there it is. I don't
So-
know if my wife will be too happy about that, but hey, you know, I can say I'll be a owner for the second time in my life.
There you go.
Yeah, I own at least a part of a team for a little bit.
There you go. See, it's amazing. Michael Settlers says the Central Time Zone is the best. It's like I
Thank
told
you,
Michael on Twitter.
Like, but you're in Eastern time, dude? You're in Ohio.
No, but he's a proponent of Nashville. He's,
Yeah, well, it's true.
he's really just a misplaced Nashvilleian.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
we're
Okay.
just waiting. Remember, we talked about this. We're just waiting for him to say, "Hey, guys, big news! The podcast is moving to Nashville, Tennessee." You know,
Ah, very
I'm
nice.
waiting.
Very nice.
I'm waiting.
Well,
I'm waiting.
So I think I would like to. I mean, I've listened, Ed, to your podcast, of course,
Mhm.
with Ethan, but I'd love to hear Ethan introduce the play catch movement.
Absolutely.
Oh my goodness! Play catch movement was started by Grammett Bauer of Hutto, Texas, and he was inspired. He went and visited all the NFL stadiums, and he toured in a VW bus,
Very
and
jealous.
it worked almost as much as it didn't work. But he was actually inspired in Missouri. He was standing by the arch waiting for a Thursday night football game, and a stranger came up to him and said, "Hey, you just want to throw the football with me?" And that moment, was his light bulb moment to start the play catch movement. And then he and I connected during my we actually didn't meet till this last weekend up at in Council Bluffs, Iowa. It was the first time we met in person, but we connected during my catch playing year.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's like us. We just met, a couple of weekends ago in person.
Yeah.
So it happens.
It
The
was-
power of
that-
Zoom.
That's wild. We've known each other for a long time, but that was really the first time we had actually met in person. It was great. And what did we do? We brought our gloves and we had a catch.
Yes.
So Ethan, you had an artful dodge of the whole play catch versus have a catch. Because I think that question
If there's a glove and a baseball involved, I'm perfectly content.
exactly right. So long as two people are throwing something back and forth, then it's fine. So
There was one guy I met from Connecticut who said they didn't use either. They said, "We're going to go throw the ball."
go throw the ball. Yeah, that to
I've
me
also
means
heard
football.
throw something. Yeah.
Throw something. When
Let's go throw
if I say
something.
let's go throw a ball around, I
Thinking
think
football.
football. Yeah. The other thing that I thought was funny was on the podcast, and I don't know if it was part 1 or part 2 because whether it was Rhett or whether it was you, Ethan, but when you kept talking about you could throw a baseball around, you could throw a football around, or you could throw a basketball around. And I love.
I mean, you could throw a basketball around. It'd be kind of
Going out
hard.
with a
That's
basketball
not
and
me.
having a catch with a basketball.
That was
right?
Rhett. That was
That was
Rhett.
right. Okay.
Yeah, and a frisbee.
Oh, a frisbee. Oh, is that a catch? Are you having a catch when you have a?
You're catching it, aren't you?
All right.
I would think it's yes. I would think so.
Okay.
I don't throw frisbee basketballs anymore. Last time I was on the court, I blew out my knee, and so I have been forever banned from basketball courts.
Yeah. We I play kickball here in Fort Collins recreationally, not
Oh, gosh.
professionally, oddly.
Good luck on your knees.
so far so good on the knees. But before the game, we'll get out there and just to warm up, we'll just sort of throw the ball around. Like we'll sort of line up in a circle and just sort of throw the ball back and forth. That thing's hard to throw. that like squishy red dodgeball thing that like
Yep.
that's hard to like get anything on. I have to like sling it. I have to like wind way up and sling it.
If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a dodgeball.
Perfect.
That's the very first thing that just came to mind as soon as you said that. I'm sorry. It's a kickball, but you're throwing a squishy ball around.
The ball is the same. The ball
Yeah.
is the same. So, well, so you guys and Anna and I were joking about this morning, and now Ed, you're doing it too. You guys are out here trying to make me cry when I listen to your podcasts, and so like these touching stories of like parents and children, you know, having a catch and like every single day, and like here's Ed out there with his daughter throwing the ball around on video, and I'm just like, you know, I'm sitting here, I'm trying to get work done, right? Like I'm at work trying to get stuff done, and you guys are over here, you know, with your tearjerker stories about parents and siblings having a catch. So.
Well, Anna started it, so I'm, you know, she started it, so I'm sorry.
Yeah.
She had me crying running. I'm like, no. Mm-mm.
But there's something special about playing catch, especially with a baseball and a glove, that it's different than any other sport to me. And I don't know if it's because I'm a baseball fan or if it's because, you know, you have tactile feeling at all times, almost like there's always a glove on your hand, and then you're always reaching for the ball to find the seams before you throw it. And I just for whatever reason, that seems to just like, you know, break the seal of emotions of whoever's throwing the ball back and forth and outpours everything. And yeah, I mean, it's just incredible.
So Ethan, what's your longest stretch of having a catch? Oh, here's Mike Sellers.
Most number of days or longest, just 366 days.
Okay. Was that a leap year or was it a year plus one?
It was a year plus one.
Okay.
And then I made myself take a break because I didn't want to become overly OCD about it.
So you purposely stopped 366.
And that was so hard.
I'll bet it was.
It was so that day I just I mean, I had my backpack of gloves, and I remember I'd pick it up and I'd move it over here, and then I'd pick it up and I'd move it over here, and I was thinking, man, I could, you know, just one more day, I could just go ahead and go for it, and it was hard to stop.
I don't think I could have done it. I have a streak going that I referenced earlier that I'm not going to say what it's about because I don't want to jinx it. But
you don't want to jinx it.
I don't want to jinx it, right? I want to get to it's at 150, and I want to get to at least 162 to have a full baseball season of this streak.
Okay, good luck.
So
is it ice cream Sundays?
I bet I have one guess. I could get it. I have a guess.
All right, what's your guess? You're going to get it in one?
Well, if I could guess it in one, but not in 6 attempts, I think I would.
You're on to it. You've got me, Ethan. You're on to it.
You'll get it. Today's was horrible.
Today's was.
It was just awful.
I'm lost. I don't know what
we're talking about Wordle.
That's what that was my guess.
And I have, so I guess I'm just going to say it now. So I have a streak going in Wordle. I started 150 days ago and I have not missed yet. And
good for you.
And so I was thinking about like, oh, do I do I intentionally just like, because I get up thinking about it. I'm just like, oh God, like when do I do it? Like, do I do it before coffee or after coffee? And
after,
do I do it when as soon as I wake up?
Yeah. Ethan's right though. Today's was awful.
It was just awful.
It was awful. Yeah. So
my streak continues on Wordle. 0 days.
0.
Let me tell you about, this is not a streak, but it's a percentage thing. I grew up near Villanova University. My dad taught there. And my friend in high school, her dad was the equipment manager for the basketball team. And so one time the Villanova was playing, they would play some of their big games down at the Spectrum in Philadelphia. And so one day he piled us all into the Villanova van. Probably couldn't do this anymore now, right? Like piled my friend and a bunch of our friends into the van. And we went down to the Spectrum in Philly. And before the players came out, his job was like to get the basketballs all set up and just get everything sort of lined up. So we were there like well before they even started warming up. And some of us were like, hey, could we, shoot around a little bit? And he says, yeah. So we like could take the basketballs. So I took a basketball. I shot an NBA 3-point shot and made it on the first try. And I was just done. like we had like another like half hour to like keep playing, and I was just like, nope, I'm not taking. I dribbled around for a while. I like hung out on the court, but I didn't take any more shots because I
You're
was
like,
shooting.
no, we are
I-
ending this streak
I
right
was
here.
shooting
One and
100%
done.
at the Spectrum in Philadelphia, so my shooting percentage at the Spectrum in Philadelphia is still 100%.
I like it. I like it.
Nice.
That's perfect.
So I want to get to part of the conversation that I had with Ethan regarding playing catch, and then obviously you guys already know, but like I'm very intrigued about the mental aspect side of this, right? Because it's like a lot of people say it's like, oh, it's very physical, it's good for exercise and everything, but we don't think about how good it is for us mentally to just go out there. Because for example, for me today, when I went out there with Mia and Darla, it was like that was a lot of fun. There was like obviously my phone was there, but it was because we were recording it, right? But other than that, we weren't tweeting, we weren't texting, there was none of that. It was just playing baseball, having a catch. There you go. That's for you.
There you
That's
go.
for
You did it.
That's for you. That's for you.
Didn't that feel good?
No, it actually didn't. It kind of like I'm gonna,
I haven't seen anything except for Mike Sellers in the chat here. If anyone else's team have a catch or not,
because it's not have a catch.
I know that like nationwide, I would lose the popular vote, but I think that there are pockets of loyalty here.
No, it's play
I
catch.
just want to set the record straight. Yeah, Mike said play catch. That was his official.
Mike did say
response.
play catch. Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I haven't seen any other commenters, register.
That's because everybody else agrees with him.
Yeah,
okay. So anyways, but yeah, it's there's something about like Anna uses like there's something about playing catch baseball wise, not basketball or football, but like the baseball side of things. It just I don't know, it just rejuvenates you, doesn't it?
Absolutely. I think okay, like you said, we all understand the physical aspect of it, but one of the big things that just play does in general is play grounds you in the moment, and you forget whatever you're worried about or stressed about, it goes to the side. And so play helps you be right now. But one of the things about playing catch for me specifically is how it engages the brain. Is it's a midline crossing experience, and so the whole time you're physically engaged with your partner, and so am I going to catch it over here? Am I crossing over? And so you're coordinating. You're working on proprioception skills. You're working on eye tracking skills, which are crossover into all kinds of life. But what is happening? You've got both sides of your brain communicating at the same time. Going was it corpus callosum, something like that? And so since your brain is working really hard, and as a result, it releases just the feel good endorphins that give us optimism and hope. And there's a reason that day that I stopped playing catch, that it was so hard, is because I had grown addicted. Really, I'd grown addicted to these just wonderful emotions, the endorphins that are released are the ones that specifically battle anxiety and depression. Okay. All right. I'm going to even back this up further. One, we live in a play deprived culture. So if you're 12 years old, 12 years and older, 75% of people are not getting enough physical playtime. So playing catch does that. We live in a culture where loneliness is just growing exponentially, and playing catch is an activity that you do with someone. We live in a culture that is is distrustful and suspicious of everyone, and playing catch is an activity that creates trust with your partner. And so you've got it, the physical part, but then this brain part of where you're working so hard to engage your partner, to make sure that they don't get hurt and establish this relationship of trust. Make sure you don't get hurt. Make sure you throw the ball, catch it, track it, all this kind of stuff. It really puts your brain in overdrive. And as a result, the masks that you wear and the walls that you hide behind, they come down, and you become more willing to share about yourself. And so it strengthens relationships with your catch partner. And it is just an all around good physical, mental activity. And I I want to get people to experience it and then say, now this is why you're experiencing, why you feel the way you do, because
Yeah.
it's good for your body and your brain. And if we could just, I played catch with, I was in Council Bluffs, Iowa this past weekend on Father's Day, as part of the play catch movement for the world record attempt. And of course, we didn't set the world record. It was the first year. You're not going to set a world record anytime on your first attempt, but there were hundreds of people playing catch. And I played catch with 3 or 4 people that never met before. And we just had a blast. And it was just a very neat experience.
I wish I would have gone, because that thing that would have been awesome to do, and just experience just all those many people just playing catch.
They had the record set up, so we had these lines that we were supposed to stand on, and it was pretty neat if you dared to peek it down into the line, and it looked like baseball snowing back and forth to school. It was really, really neat perspective to see it.
No, that's cool. That's cool.
Awesome.
Well, I was lucky enough on our trip when we got down on the field at the Saints game.
Yep.
Yes.
I was lucky enough to be throwing. I was next to Ed, and we were both throwing with Anna. So I was getting every other of Anna's throws there. So that was but that was great. We were on the field at the St. Paul Saints, and that was the video that Ed put together and put out there. That is getting well received on social media. It's getting a lot of love out there. So
yeah, I love it. It was like 380 some views, for only a couple of days being up, and I'm like, yes,
there you go.
Keep it going.
Yeah. So, well, the movement, it's super cool. It's, I do want to, have some movie quote trivia here if you guys are ready.
I'm going to be so bad.
It's only,
if I can get 3 out of 10.
No, it's only one.
Career.
It's only one actually, and it's just finish this line.
Be like shooting a 3-pointer.
Exactly.
I know where this is going. I know where this is going.
In Field of Dreams. Hey, Dad, wanna
have a catch?
I have a catch. Okay, you did it. You're shooting 100%.
I'm shooting 100%. I'll take it.
And he's retiring. There you go. Done.
Oh man.
I still say it's play catch, but it's cool.
All right. It was funny. I was actually listening to John Hodgman the other day, and he has a podcast that I really like, and he said he was talking about GIF, the graphic interchange format, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he was saying, I did this and this and this, and then someone sent me this GIF, and then he pauses and he says, or GIF, I don't want to fight about it, and then.
Yes,
and then he just kept going, and I'm like, that's actually kind of perfect. I don't want to fight about it.
I say both, to be honest with you, like GIF or GIF.
Yeah,
that's great. I'll say both.
Yeah, say both. Just keep people on their toes. As soon as they think you're on your team.
Yeah.
So, Ethan, I have a question for you. If we're done with movie trivia quotes, unless
it was
more.
just one. Yeah,
that was it.
Yeah, Ethan got it.
Proving a point. I got it. Well done.
Just being spiteful. Just being petty over here.
So Ethan was on my show a couple of months ago,
right?
And after that episode aired, I got reached out to by several people who started their own 365 challenge, and one of them was John Sukanik, who came on the show later and kind of gave his experience. He was only, I think, 20 some odd days into it at the time, but he is
strong.
He is, yeah. Every day he posts on Twitter, who he's with, and you're exactly right. Like, one day he said something along the lines of like, this is my mom's neighbor, and I've passed by her for years and years, and today, because of this, I reached out to her for the first time and got to know her as a person because we played catch together. So how often do you get feedback from people that's like that, in terms of, I read your book, this is a great idea, I'm doing it?
Well, not as often as I like. Maybe once or twice a month. But I got one recently that really caught me off guard, and it was in context with seeing Dan Bryan's story with that feature. But I ran into this mom, and she has 6 children, I believe, 6 boys, and 3 of them were at the world record attempt up at Council Bluffs. And I took a couple books with me with the intent of just giving them away. And I had one left, and I heard them talking, and they were over talking about Kevin. And I don't know if I've told you about Kevin in Iowa's catch playing story, but it's pretty incredible. And I can come back to that. I said, "Oh, you play catch?" "Well, yeah, I play catch with him." And I said, "You want to know a secret?" And one of the younger ones like, yeah, I'd love to know a secret. What you got? I said, "Well, the reason he started his journey is because he read a book." He said, "Oh yeah, he was telling me." I said, "Well, I wrote that book." And then they're kind of looking at me like, "Yeah, crazy man, sure you did." Yeah, and you could just see it on their face, like, "You did." All right. I said, "Hey, come with me. I got one copy. It's yours if you want it." And I had it in the car, and the car was only like 15, 20 feet away, whatever. So I go get it and really quickly sign it, give it to him, and then my wife get in the car and leave. And the mom reached out to me found me on Twitter, and she reached out to me, and she said that actually I think today is the day that 12 years ago she lost a son, and he was of the age that he would have been with them at the effort, but also playing on the same team with them. And that the correlation of hearing Dan's story and then getting this book on the same day as she's nearing this anniversary, she said it was just one of those amazing moments for her. And that completely caught me off guard. I was harassing a couple of brothers and saying, "Ha, hey, look, I've got a book for you. I was just looking to give it away." And
right.
That completely, it just takes you back. Like, you're welcome. You're most welcome.
Mm-hmm.
I just gave me goosebumps.
Yeah, huh? You guys and your stories, all 3 of you now.
Stop cutting onions around here.
So, Ethan, you're wearing the old Kansas City Monarchs cap right now.
Yes.
And it looks like you've got a 42 shirt on there, as far as I can tell.
Yes.
Are you in the Kansas City area?
Springfield area. I lived and worked in Kansas City for 11 years. Royals game was my first game when I was 4 years old.
Okay.
So 16 inning game, won on a walk-off home run by George Brett. So I didn't have a chance other than to be a lifelong Royals fan.
And now you're in a town with a Cardinals affiliate.
Suffering. Yeah. And being a Royals fan in a town with a Cardinals affiliate is hard.
Let me ask you this question, because not only are they a Cardinals affiliate, but they're actually called the Cardinals. They have the Cardinals branding and everything. Does that make it harder for you as a Royals fan to connect with that team?
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
And I hate to say that. I mean, of course you want to cheer for the hometown team.
Sure.
But whenever the Northwest Arkansas Naturals come in, I go in and I sit behind the Northwest Arkansas Naturals dugout. And
I'm telling you, I lived in Richmond, Virginia for 10 years, and I'm a Phillies fan, in case you couldn't tell.
Yep.
Never tell.
Ryan Howard.
Ryan Howard, yeah, absolutely. St. Louis guy.
We went to the same college.
Did you really? Oh, very cool. Very cool.
So I claim him.
Him
and Jake Berger, Missouri State University.
All right. He loved playing in St. Louis too. He was always blowing up the Cardinals until his Achilles heel blew up in 2011 at the end of the playoffs. But I lived in Richmond, Virginia. I went to school there and worked there for a little while after college. The Richmond Braves were there, and I never, ever, ever connected. I never got a hat or a T-shirt. I never kept any of the souvenirs they gave away. Years later, I went to a Gwinnett Stripers game. Same franchise, bought a T-shirt, bought a hat, got the helmet Sunday, got all that stuff. Same franchise, same parent club,
different
but
name.
Unique nickname. And so it just takes that away from me. So
I was just going to ask that question. It's like, so would you feel different? Would you root for that team if they would have been the Springfield whatever instead of the Springfield Cardinals?
I would think so. Yeah. I think it'd make it a lot easier just because I grew up with such the division, the rivalry between the two teams. I mean, in 1985, I was in 5th grade, and my sister and I were the only ones in our elementary school cheering for the Royals. So there's that. Now, interesting side twist, in 2016, spring of 2016, I worked as part of the field crew for the Springfield Cardinals.
Oh, no.
So I got to learn some of the behind the scenes of how they take, and the field there is just, I mean, it's one of the best AA fields. It's an incredible field, and learned the secrets of how of the trade. And I never got to work a Cardinals game. Missouri State University shares the field with them. And about 6 weeks into the job, learned that I needed reconstructive ankle surgery.
Oh, no.
Yikes.
So my career ended.
I was there during the off season. I think it was like March. I think it was right before the season was getting ready to get started. And I was there for work, and I called up the team and said, "Hey, can I just swing by and just introduce myself?" And just met their media guy, and I just try to do that whenever I'm in any minor league town, basically. And so I got there, and he gave me a little bit of a tour, and they were just that day, like literally that day, installing that beautiful new scoreboard they have out in the outfield now.
Yes.
And
I was working that day.
were you really? That's wild. We were in the ballpark together then.
That's crazy.
That's
They're
crazy.
sort of
Small
office
world.
people. They're, I mean, to a T, everyone in their front office staff is really, really incredible. I mean,
That's
10
awesome.
out
Yeah.
of 10.
They were very kind with me. I mean, they were just like, I called them up and they were like, "Yeah, come by." And then they spent like, half an hour with me just showing me around.
Yeah.
And so
Neat,
I'll have to
guys.
dig up. I have photos from that day. I took pictures of them installing the scoreboard.
That's
So-
awesome.
Maybe Ethan is
Yeah.
in the background.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be like one of those like crazy stories that like we were
that'd be
both at
really
Disney
weird.
World at the same time. And my dad is in the background of your picture as a kid. And
The couple that
That
came
would've-
on my show that they do like all the stuff. They're doing all the ballparks, all the NHL arenas and stuff like that. They have like that exact story. Like they grew up in a small town and they didn't know each other, but when they started comparing notes about games they had been to, they had gone to like 15 different games together and not even realized it. It's
You know
crazy.
what? I'm
That-
watching. I follow them on Instagram. Man, listen. Every day they're somewhere different. I'm like, listen. I'm so jealous right now. These two. They're everywhere.
Living the
So,
dream. Yeah.
Yeah, they are.
I
Very
get to travel
expensive dream.
I get to travel for work a lot, which is nice. It's between my baseball palooza trips and my and work, I've gotten to see all 50 states. So that's been lucky for me. I'm grateful for that.
I'm working on it.
My 50th
just
state.
started.
My 50th state was when I got to see a Portland Sea Dogs game and have a lobster roll for 3 consecutive meals in Maine.
Because that's lobster rolls. Obviously,
I had lobster rolls at a casino, a fast food like a cart on the street, and then at a Portland Sea Dogs game. That was breakfast, lunch, and dinner for the 24 hours that I was in Maine.
So which one was the best?
The casino one was actually really good. It was yeah.
Oh,
I don't know.
that's
It was-
good.
Yeah, I mean the ballpark one. Obviously, you're at a ballpark, right? You have a ballpark, and you have a souvenir beer, and you have a helmet sundae, so it's hard to go wrong with that. But yeah, like the actual quality of the lobster roll, the casino one was great.
Interesting.
Yeah, the like gas station roadside stand was a little sketchy. That was scary.
Look at that.
I can imagine that.
Yeah. So
So let me ask you. Obviously, we talked about this, but the inspiration behind the book. Tell us a little bit about that part. From your point of view.
Do you want to know the writing of the book or just the origin story of the whole project?
I'm gonna defer this to the other author in this stream. What do you think, Paul? I'm gonna leave that up to you.
I'd like to know, like the moment that you decided, okay, this thing that is important to me is going to become, I'm going to document it and I'm going to put it out there for the world. That to me was a very gradual process when I put my book together. So what was that moment for you, or what was that process like for you deciding, okay, I'm putting this out into the world for everybody?
When the year started, I was actually working on 2 different projects, 2 different books, and I knew that they were one wrapped up, I think, in June or July, and then one was canceled by mid-March. And for some reason on January 1st, because I'm a writer, I posted a blog of our pictures and our effort, and I just did it. It's January 1st. Hey, this is how we rung in the new year. Went out, played catch with my daughters. It was wonderful. Yippee.
Shippy.
And then it turned out that I blogged and put a picture on every day. And so at the end of the year, I've got 360 some odd stories. And there were two different instances. There was one about, I want to say it was about 40-ish days in or so. I got an email from my writing mentor. His name is Robert Benson. And he said, "You're writing a book, my friend." I was like, "Well, yeah, I am. You know, this is the story I was telling you about. I was writing this book and I'm going to do this and this and this." And he goes, "No, not at all.
Yeah.
This playing catch thing, you're writing a book." And I just completely pushed it away. I said, "No, there's not a chance, whatever."
You're out of your mind.
And then it's just past day 200. Like it's around 206, 207 or something like that. That's the day my dad and I got to go to Field of Dreams. We met a couple of people there. We met a reporter who connected us. It was a really cool experience.
From Akron, right?
On the way home from Field of Dreams, we stopped in Des Moines and played catch with Tim Flattery of the Moonlight Graham Show podcast, which I thought was pretty cool to connect with Moonlight Graham on the way home. It just seemed fitting. Mm-hmm. And at the very end, visiting with him, he said, "Well, you know, in the movie, he says, you're going to write about it, right?" Mm-hmm. And I was like, I was so involved with Zill trying to line up catch partners and everything. That was when I made the commitment that I said, if I make it an entire year, I will write about it. And he was the one that I first verbally made the commitment to.
That's
cool.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. What a great story. Yeah.
Then
Tim has that effect on people.
Yeah. It was terrifying when I actually did it.
Yeah.
But I mean, listen, I've said this, and I'm going to keep saying it. Like I'm truly enjoying the stories as I'm running every morning, and I hear about it because it's just, you know, you connect on a human level, right? You know, you have that connection, and you just want to keep going. And I'm like, listen, I gotta go home and shower and go to work, but like you don't want to stop because it's really good.
Well, thank you. I was actually exercising today, and I thought of this. The first, my first two baseball stories I remember writing. I was in second grade, and I wrote one about the Royals playing the Braves in the World Series. My best friend was a Braves fan, and of course, I had the Royals winning it. And Mom kept that story, and I can. Give me 30, 40 minutes, I can probably track it down. I'm never going to let anyone read it because it's horrible. It's awful. But then in third grade, it was the first time I read a story about Jackie Robinson. And we had a wall of the World Book Encyclopedias. And so I went and read more about Jackie in the World Book Encyclopedias. And I just wrote a 2 or 3 page story about Jackie. I plagiarized probably the heck out of it, and stapled it together and went and put it on my teacher's desk, and I never put my name on it. And that being a third grade teacher, took her probably about 6 seconds to identify whose handwriting it was. And she made an announcement in front of the entire class. "Well, whoever wrote this story about Jackie Robinson, thank you so much, because this was an incredible story." And now fast forward about 30-ish years or so, and my parents' neighbor was, his wife was my third grade teacher, and she had since passed on, and he became part of my Catch 365 project. He was my first 90-year-old neighbor, Bob, the nonagenarian.
Nonagenarian. It's awesome. What kind of arm did he have? How far away were you?
We were probably 30 feet away or so.
All right.
And I gave him, I had this backpack of gloves. I had a at that time, I think I had 6 or 7 or 8 gloves. And so I gave him the one that I thought was most broken in, that would be most comfortable. It was my glove. And I said, here, you'll probably want to use this one. He goes, no, I want to use that one. And it was a 1942 Wilson mitt. I mean, it's just barely bigger than my, and there's no padding on it or anything. And he says, this is the kind I'm most comfortable with.
That's
cool.
He
just loved it.
That's
cool.
awesome. I love that. Oh, again.
Last year on Baseball Palooza, which is Ethan, that's a road trip that I take with college buddies. There's about 8 to 10 of us every year who go back 25, 30 years. And every year we pick a different part of the country and we go to 4 minor league baseball games in 4 different stadiums in 4 days. And last year, part of that trip was in Wichita. And we were staying in the hotel right across the river from the ballpark. And so it's a beautiful part of town, right? Like, and especially now that the ballpark's there, like it's such an amazing spot. Oddly, I learned, like, once we pulled up and it looked familiar to me, I stayed in that same hotel in 2006 for a conference for a job that I still have today. But anyway, my buddy who played college ball at the University of Richmond, he batted cleanup behind Sean Casey, by the way, which is his that's his claim to fame.
That's a pretty good claim to fame right there.
That's a good claim to fame, huh? Yeah, he had warning track power though. He did not have Sean Casey's power, so they may have. I think it was a lefty righty thing that caused him to be hitting cleanup there. But anyway, he and I were the only 2 to bring our gloves on this trip, and so we went down by the river. There's this beautiful river walk there, and so the morning before it got too hot, we went down by the river and just probably for like a half hour, brought our coffees down there, set our coffees down, and just threw the ball back and forth. Just sat there and had a catch for probably a half hour, and it was just great, right? Like, it was just so. I hadn't done it in forever at that point. Like, I can't remember the last time, except for with my kids, right? Like, who were never to be honest that into it. But I remember thinking, like, why don't I do this like all the time? I should do this like all the time. And so this year I'm going to try to get all the guys to bring their gloves.
It's so nice
on baseball. Catch. I mean, I would think a glove would be mandatory.
Yeah.
This is, some of these guys, I love them to death, but some of them are like the gatekeepers, right? Some of them are like, grown men shouldn't bring gloves to a baseball game. And so
get out,
you have to, they're Yankees fans and Red Sox fans. They think they rule the place, and so
just threw up in my mouth again.
The one who did bring his glove was an Orioles fan, though. So it's he doesn't
understandable.
He doesn't have that same chip on his shoulder. So.
I understand that. It's so nice, though, Paul, that you played catch with your friend.
We did. I don't want to fight about it, Ed.
You should mandate mandate it though, so that you do have a game of catch while you're there on the trip. I think that's something that should be the staple of any baseball road trip, any baseball trip from now on out.
I think so.
And where's this year's trip?
This year's trip, we're going to do Indianapolis, Columbus, the Fort Wayne Tin Caps, and Louisville.
Louisville bat.
Not in that order.
Nice.
Yeah.
Have you been to Columbus one?
I've been to Columbus once. Oh. I went there in work clothes. I left. I was at a conference, like, I don't know, half a mile away, and I was,
such a nice park,
socializing with association executives, and I was just like, I've got an important meeting at 7:05, and
gotta go.
So I ducked out and was there in my khaki pants and my collared shirt, trying to stay cool, watching a Columbus Clippers game.
How cool.
Nice.
Yeah. I have one last question because this is something that we talked about, and I really wanted to you to bring up, is that the mentorship program that you're working on.
Oh, yeah.
And I want you to elaborate a little bit on that, because obviously that's something that really just, I was like, yes, count me in. I don't know how I'm going to work with you on this one, but I want in.
It's like one of those things that the more you talk about it, the more the scarier it gets. And it literally is just an idea that exists in my head and on one Microsoft Word document that I don't think I've shared with anyone, period. Sorry about that. But the idea is thinking about 12-year-olds, 12 years and up, are not getting enough time to play. So that's one of the aspects. There's the statistic that 80% of ball players stop playing by the age of 14. And one of the research statistics is they stop playing because they quit playing catch with their dad. And I love that quote. And so focusing on kids that are junior high, middle school age, 11 to 14-ish window, that time of your life that no one really likes because you're trying to figure out who the heck you are. And then you've got puberty that's going on. And then you've got all these hormones and relationships and struggles and identification, all this kind of stuff going on in you. So that's the target population is to work with them. And then my idea, because here in Springfield, we have two fantastic collegiate baseball programs, Missouri State, Drury University, is to get ball players from one of the universities for 1 hour a week. You're gonna go meet these students. You're gonna play catch for 20 minutes or 30 minutes, however long you want, and then have a snack, whether it's Dr. Pepper and donuts or cheese and crack, whatever. You have a snack, and then I've just been working on real simple curriculum of quotes and just conversation questions where the two can come together and talk about various aspects of life, and it's on a nice acronym centered around quote, play, catch. But 10 weeks together, and that's the very short version of it. And then the logistics of it is, in order to get money to sponsor it, I'd have to partner with a nonprofit. And then there's, legal permissions of working with it. And so there's all these big pieces moving, but I can't stop thinking about it.
Yeah.
I love that.
Sounds like a great idea.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. It's amazing.
Hopefully.
I love the idea of involving the players too, right? Like, I do. I was going to say, I really love that we've spent the last 40 plus minutes talking about the mental and physical health benefits of getting outside and having a catch and just being active and socializing. And then the first snack that you mentioned was Dr. Pepper and donuts, and
Yes.
that sounds like an amazing snack.
It does sound delicious.
I mean, I just spoke
donuts.
from the heart, and that's where my heart first goes first. Dr. Pepper, yes, I am.
Dr.
There. I mean,
Pepper and donuts.
my parents, whenever they travel to go see my nephew, they're like, "Well, you're going to come over and take care of the house, take care of the mail, watch the cat and all that kind of stuff." And I'm like, "Okay, yeah, sure." And they're like, "We've got a fridge full of Dr. Peppers." Oh yeah, I'm in. Sure, got it.
That's my favorite soda too. I love Dr. Pepper. I was
another one, soda or pop?
For me, soda.
Soda.
It's, do you want a Coke? What kind?
I really wish that part of the naming rights for the Frisco Rough Riders when they had Dr. Pepper Ballpark was that the lazy river had to be filled with Dr. Pepper. That would have been amazing.
That would have been such a nightmare to clean up, though.
Can you imagine?
You got to stop giving these. You got to stop giving these ideas away for free, Paul.
I know, right? When am I going to start charging for these?
Write them down. Just write them down. Don't say it. Just write them down. Carry a notebook with
Tuesday's
you.
idea. This week's idea is
My minor league baseball consulting business is really starting to take off here. So.
The first 10, 15, 20 maybe are free. The rest I'm charging.
All right, we're down to our last minute here, and so Ethan, we have a sort of tradition here where we go around and we talk about who's coming up next on our podcasts. So
Awesome.
Anna, who do you have next?
So tomorrow, believe it or not, is episode number 52, which marks 1 year from the start of the Baseball Bucket List podcast.
You haven't missed one yet, huh?
That's right. Instead of our traditional kind of interview structure, I did like a greatest hits montage type thing, focused on 3 lessons I learned over the past year. So I would suggest don't listen to it in public because it's a lot of emotional heavy hitting.
Anna, I'm going running tomorrow morning.
Awesome. Oh man!
You see a grown man, on the street crying. You know why?
Did that take you forever to put together? That I feel like that, like if I tried that, it would take me forever to put together.
It did. It took several more hours. It's probably about like 6 times longer than I'm used to spending on an episode, and it's actually shorter. So there's a reason I do things the way I do the rest of the time. But it's a labor of love, and I'm very proud of it. So
Awesome. All right. Ed, who you got?
I have Chuck Domino.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah,
Nice.
Chuck Domino, the godfather of minor league. So we're going, we're talking all things baseball, obviously his trajectory, and we talk about my first love, Akron Rubber Ducks.
There you go. All right. I'll be talking to Chuck in a month or so for the Charleston Dirty Birds episode. But I have coming up next week, I've got the Missoula Paddleheads with Matt Ellis from the team and Jason Klein from Brandiose and Henry Hunter, who's the vice president of the Pioneer League. And then the week after that, I've got the Bowling Green Hot Rods with general manager Eric Leach and their designer Brandon LaMarche and Mariah Hughes, who is with the Corvette Museum in Bowling Green. So,
oh, nice.
So anyway, that'll be fun. And as soon as we hang up here, I'm 1 minute late for a recording session right now, but I don't feel too bad about it because the person I'm recording with just commented here. Congratulations, Anna. So, so I believe Pat Larson knows where I am right now.
I think you are excused. That's awesome. Well, guys, thank you so much for being here. Ethan, thank you so much for coming on. This was a lot of fun. I just can't say, I had a blast. I did.
Me too. Yeah, Ethan, it was nice to finally meet you. I was the third one out of the three of us here to finally get to meet you. So it's when I finally get to a Cardinals game, I'm going to look you up and I'll buy you a helmet Sunday, and I'll bring my glove and we'll have a catch.
there you
Wonderful.
go.
I will gladly participate and have a catch with you too.
Yes.
we got to set up our Cleveland Guardians playing catch with Sandy Elmer, because we said it, we talked about it on the podcast, so I'm gonna try to work on that, my friend.
Mike Chernoff, there's the guy. That's you got to connect with.
Actually, I'll probably be up there in November, so for work, but we can. It'll be nice and cold, to play catch.
Awesome.
You can do it.
We can do it. There you go. Yeah. So, all right, guys. Well, hey, we will see you, all of you, next week.
All right. Thanks, Ethan. Bye, Ed. Bye,
Thanks,
Anna.
Ethan.
See you soon.
Bye, guys.
Bye.